Hello everyone and welcome to a fun and colorful tutorial. I'm Marley Bird, your By Crafty bestie. Let's go. Okay everybody, if you're looking to add a little sunshine to your crochet projects, you're in the right place. Today, the amazing Robin Chichula is here to show us how to create the Sweetcorn crochet motif, a design that is as cute as it sounds. Let's dive in. Take it away, Robin.
Aw, thanks, Marley. Hey, everybody. Let's get into the Sweetcorn block. This has all of that yummy texture that you just love when you're making blankets or pillows or anything where you have this just wonderful texture. And so what do I mean by yummy texture? Well, look at all of this wonderfulness that's popping up. These are all made with popcorns, and they just jump off the page. You can see we have popcorns in our center, popcorns on these corners, popcorns on this round. So it has all of this wonderful playfulness in this block. And then just a little bit of delicate edging along the side. So let's take a look of what we need to do. Of course, in your pattern, you're going to have your full motif all diagrammed out for you, which is wonderful. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to concern myself with the middle. I'm going to blow this up, and we're just, because let's be honest, you don't need me to do all 13. After a while, it starts going on and doing the same things over and over again. But let's start talking about what's happening to get started. So we're going to start by doing this center beautiful little flower, and then I'm going to let you go to crochet all the rest because I know you'll have it. What we have going on here is it starts in a traditional way of a block or a granny square, where we're going to start in the center and work our way out. We're going to start with an adjustable ring. That's what that dark line means. Then all of these that you see going around are popcorns. That's just a really fancy word for saying we're going to do 4 double crochets, pull the free loop of the last one through the first one, and make this beautiful shape. All of the rest of the stitches that you see here, we have double crochets, chains, slip stitches, single crochets. On the very last round, you're going to have some half doubles. Those are all basic stitches that I know everyone can do. It's just where we place them. And I think after you get through a few, you're going to see that, oh yeah, I get this. There's no twist or turns too badly that I need to watch out for. This is definitely something we can do. So this block you can make with as many colors or as few colors as you want. In this version, I have 4 different colors. You could do it with 2 if you wanted. You could do it with 1 if you wanted. You can change every single round. This one is super versatile. Use as many or as few colors as you like. So let's start with making the center of the block. I have a couple of colors. I'm going to move this off to the side so you can kind of see it as we work. I'm going to grab my first color, and to get started, we're going to make an adjustable ring. Now you go ahead and make an adjustable ring however you like to do it. This is how I do it. I'm going to wrap the yarn around. So I have the working yarn on top, inserting my hook into the little loop that I made and pulling up a loop. Popping my hook, so you'll notice I took it off from here because it would twist it. I popped it off and I inserted it back around. So let me show you that again. Folding it over, inserting my hook, grabbing that working yarn and popping it up. Then what I'm doing is I'm removing my hook from there and reinserting it. So it was coming from the back side to the front. I'm inserting it from the front to the back. And then all I'm doing is chaining 1 to lock it into place. That's how I make an adjustable ring. So I'm going to work all of my stitches around here. If you have a different way that you like to do the magic circle, magic loop, adjustable circle, there's many different names for it. You go ahead and do your favorite way. Okay, to get started, we're going to start with a beginning popcorn. All that means is instead of doing a double crochet to start, I need to do a chain 3. So all I'm going to do is do a chain 3, and then I'm going to put 3 double crochets in the same spot. So, and just a reminder, a double crochet is you yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the double crochet. So I did 3 of them. So this is just the beginning popcorn. I won't do this again, but to start again, I did chain 3. That counts as a double crochet, and then I did 3 double crochets. I'm inserting my hook into the top of that beginning chain 3 from the front to the back. I'm taking that free loop from the last one, popping it on my hook, and then I'm pulling this free loop through the top. And that made my first popcorn. All right, I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and now I'm going to start making the rest of the popcorns. The popcorns are 4 double crochets, as I said before, so yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That made 1 double crochet. Let's make another one. 2, 3, 4 double crochets. Now it's time to make this 4 double crochets into a popcorn. You insert your hook into the top, under the top 2 loops of your first double crochet of that group. Pop the free loop of the last double crochet on and pull through. And this made the next popcorn. So the popcorns, basically, the bottoms can be flared out and the tops are all smushed together. And that's what gives it the 3-dimensional shape. All right. 1, 2. We're going to do it again. 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, insert my hook in the first one, put the free loop of the last one on, pull through, chain 2. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert my hook into the first double crochet, put the free loop of the last one on, pull through, 1, 2. So I have half of the first ring done, and you'll notice I smushed it down to give myself more room to work around that ring. You'll notice that you'll keep adjusting as you do this first round. The next popcorn. So there's 8 popcorns total, which is a lot of stitches all to be in the first ring. So if it starts to feel crowded, that's normal. We are packing in a lot of stitches. It's not just 8 stitches. It's 32 because it's 8 times 4. So it's quite a lot of stitches to go around the first one. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll keep going to do my 6th popcorn. So nothing hard about popcorns. They're basically just double crochets that have their tops pulled together, but they give such a 3-dimensional feel. They are, very bold. It's really fun to play with. I'm going to pop through, chain 2, my 7th one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, insert my hook into the first one, pop the free loop of the last one on, 1, 2. Okay, so you'll notice I just keep smushing it around. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ready for my last one. One, 2, 3, 4. Insert my hook into the first stitch, free loop of the last one on, pull through, then 1, 2. All right, so when you're all done, you have quite a few popcorns all the way around. What I like to do is I'm going to join it. So I'm going to place my thumb over the hole so that both sides are kind of covered. And what I'm doing is I'm pressing my thumb and my middle finger together to kind, not like squishing it, but kind of giving it something to pull against. And then I'm using my other hand to pull that adjustable ring closed. You can pull it as tight as you want. Like here is still a bit of a hole, and in the blanket it's totally gone. You decide how much you would like, you know, how tight. You can make it super tight if you want to, or you can leave like a tiny little hole there. That's not going to make or break your project. What is though is if this gets loose. So you will want to weave in these ends very tight. So just go around and around and around and around and around so that this doesn't come loose and doesn't open up your whole first round, because that would stink. All right. Now I have my chain 2 and I'm ready to join and start my whole next round. You have some options here. So what we want to do is we want to bring in another color. That's basically what we want to do here. And you have a couple of options of how to bring in that color. I'm going to show you a few. Of course, you can do it the way it's written, or you can do it multiple ways. So first way, let's say option 1. When you're going to slip stitch, because you're going to slip stitch this chain 2 to your first popcorn. When you go to slip stitch, you're going to insert your hook into the top of the popcorn. And then what you can do is you can fold over your new color, pull through the popcorn, pull through the chain. And so now the color that's on your hook is ready for your new color. So you can start your round 2. You can go ahead and do a stacked double right in to the first chain 2 space and go off your merry way. That is one way of doing it. Now I'm going to tell you this. There is no wrong way of starting these rounds. It's really what you like doing. Another way is we're going to just slip stitch with our old color. Then we're going to fasten off. So we complete the round with one color, completely get rid of it. And now we're going to start the next round with a new color. Because what's happening here is that we are starting our round 2, which starts with a stacked double. So the way that you do this slip stitch over stacked double is where we're saying there's an option. So the first one I showed you, second one, you can join your new color with a slip stitch. So put a slip knot on your hook, join the color in any of the chain 2 spaces with a slip stitch. Then in the same space, you're going to go ahead and do a stacked double crochet. That was option 2. Option 3. Okay, listen. This is my favorite way. So you can do it as written. You can do it the other way. This is my favorite way. I like to join my color with a standing double crochet. So instead of doing a stacked double crochet here, I'm going to join my new colors with standing double crochets. There's nothing wrong with joining your color with a slip stitch and a stacked double, or just starting it with a stacked double. You can start it however you really like. If you hate all of this, you could slip stitch and chain 3 if you wanted. I like options, right? I like everyone to have options. And this is written in the pattern of like the different ways you can start. So if you're looking in the notes, this is what I'm talking about. This is my favorite way. I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. So a standing double crochet, you yarn over your hook. You're going to insert your hook into the chain 2 space, yarn over, pull up a loop. So yes, I'm making a double crochet in thin air. That is what we're doing here. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The top is, the end of your yarn is at the top of your work, not at the bottom where it normally would be. And this is just a double crochet, so it doesn't look any different than anything else. Okay, let's do that one more time. A standing double crochet, yarn over your hook. You'll notice when I do it, I'm putting my finger here so that it doesn't unwind on me by accident. So I'm keeping my finger at the top. I'm inserting my hook, yarning over, pulling up a loop. Then I'm yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over, pulling through 2. Yes, it is a little hard to keep that tension up there, but I enjoy it. Okay, one last way. I know I'm going a little overboard, but I just want you to have all of the ways that you could join it. Okay, 4th way. I said you could start with a stacked double. You don't even have to start with a slip stitch. Just to start with a stacked double. What you're going to do is you're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop. So it's like you're joining your yarn with a single crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2. Then to make the stacked double, you're going to insert your hook between these 2 vertical legs. So you see how that single crochet made 2 vertical legs? I'm going to insert my hook between them, pull up a loop from behind. So now I have 2 more loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2. So that is what we call a stacked double. And here, the end of my yarn is like in the middle of the stitch. So a standing double crochet would have put it at the top. The stacked puts in the middle. And if I joined it with a slip stitch, my yarn end would be at the end. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. You're going to weave this in eventually. It's just however you enjoy crocheting. Whatever is the easiest way for you to join your yarn. But I wanted to give you 4 different ways because there's tons of different ways to do it. Okay, let's get to back to the actual action. The rest of what's going on here is we always have 3 double crochets. They're separated by a chain 5 space. So this is going to give us some room to make this petal. So it's 3 double crochets, chain 5, 3 double crochets. And we repeat that 4 times. All right. So let's just keep going with this. This counts as 1 double crochet. I'm going to put 2 more double crochets in the chain 2 spot. 1, 2. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hop over to the next chain 2 space, put 3 double crochets in here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, repeat this sequence 3 more times. In the next chain 2 space, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the next chain 2 space, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we go to the next one and repeat again. 1, 2, 3. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next one, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we're starting to get somewhere. One more. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last one again, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch the top of your first double crochet and you finished the round. So now we made something that we can really see those popcorns, they're popping off, and we now have a rectangle. We now have a square. So this is this. So it's just the start here is what we have. All right, let's build up these petals. Round 3. Again, a lot of simple stitches. What we have is 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets. That's all going in this chain 5 space. In between these groups of double crochets, I'm going to put a single crochet. And we just repeat that all the way around. All right. To get started, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet between these 2 groups of double crochets. So insert my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Then go right into 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we made our first little petal. In between the next 2 sets of double crochets, right in between, I'm going to insert my hook. So I'm going to insert my hook between the 2 groups of 3 double crochets, yarn over, pull up a loop. So I have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through those 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and do another petal. So that's 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In between these 2, put a single crochet. So you can kind of see now where it's going. I'm going to repeat the same exact things 2 more times, 5 double crochets, four, 5, chain 2, 1, 2, 5 double crochets, four, 5. Between these two groups of 3, I'm going to put a single crochet and one last petal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and 5. So nothing hard. There was nothing hard on the last one, nothing hard on this one. It's just using our basic crochet stitches, which we all know and love, in their easiest form, right? Throwing a whole bunch of double crochets in a big chain space, that's really easy to do. We're back around to the beginning. I'm just going to slip stitch to my first single crochet. Then I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. Round 3 done. All right, let's just do one more all together. I don't think you're going to have any problems with any of these rounds, but let's just do one more together. All right, round 4 is just highlighting these stitches. On the sample, I've done it so it's in the same, like, let's call this the blue color the main color. So I did it in the main color, which kind of draws your eye. It makes you feel like you are bracketing these that are going to come next. It's one way of looking at it, but I want to show you another version that changes the color in a little bit different way. So on this version, all of the puff stitches are all this, the same color. And then all these little tiny details that you see, so the little chain here, the little slip stitch here, that's all with a different color. And then everything else is done, kind of with the main color. It gives a totally different look, in my opinion. And obviously, if you did it all with the same color, it gives a totally different look. But I wanted to show you, let's bring in the big one again. It looks, so you can see, it looks pretty darn different. So playing with where you're placing your color and what color you're doing is pretty cool. I won't lie, it's very, very cool. So it's kind of fun to do. Move these to the side. Okay, let's play with a new color. So in this round, this is just slip stitches and chains. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch to my first double crochet, chain a bunch, slip stitch, chain a bunch, slip stitch, chain a bunch, slip stitch, all the way around. The only exciting part is at the end, and I'll show you a couple of options for that. So let's make an adjustable ring, adjustable loop, a slip knot, and here's where I joined. In the very next double crochet, I'm going to join with a slip stitch. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 4. Then slip stitch to my next chain 2 space and chain 4. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets and slip stitch to my next double crochet. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip my single crochet and slip stitch to my next double crochet. one note here. If you are an extremely tight person that chains very, very tight, I want you to add one chain on either side. Do you see how on here it's just skimming the top? That's what I wanted to do. But if it's kind of like puckering it, that's not what I need it to do. I don't need it to pucker your petal. Your petal should lay flat. So if it's acting kind of funny and kind of curling on you, add a chain here. So these were 4. So if it's doing it to you, chain 5 instead before you slip stitch. So, you know, it might puff out a little bit more, but I'd rather this be a tiny bit loose than be way too tight and curl your work. We don't need these to be curled at all. I just want them to be straight. It's just to outline your petal. That's all that this round is really doing. So if it helps, you know, it's written for chain 4, but if it helps, chain another one, chain 5. Still skip 4 double crochets and slip stitch to the next double crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip the single crochet, slip stitch to the next double crochet. I'm going to go back to chain 4 because that's, you know, how I wrote it. So chain 4. I always say that, like, if you're telling somebody to chain loosely, that never works for anybody. I'd rather you just add another chain. When it comes to chains, just add another chain. Or skip 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, slip stitch to the next double crochet. So, you know, I want it tight instead of a bit loose, but that's okay. I would rather it be loose so that you can see it versus too tight. 1, 2, 3. Skip the single crochet, slip stitch to the next double crochet, chain 4, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch to the next chain 2 space, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip 4 double crochets, slip stitch to the next double crochet. Now, what we've been doing with these chain 3 spaces here, all of these chain 3 spaces, what we've been doing with these guys is this is where our puffs are going to go into. These are our chain 3 spaces where our puffs are going to go into on the next round. So these are just our setup. So here, what happens is the way it's written is we have chain 1 and then a double crochet to get us so that we're at the top of the hill. You know, you think of it, the chain space as a hill. If we joined it, we would be at the bottom, we'd be at the valley. But to be at the top of the hill, we're going to break it up and say chain 1 and then a stitch so that we end up at the top. So let's see what that looks like. What that would look like is we would chain 1, then do a double crochet. So yarn over, insert our hook into the first slip stitch, pull up a loop. So we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2. But now the pattern is also telling me I need to change my color. So when I had 2 loops left on my hook, I would join in my new color. And then I can chain 3, 1, 2, 3 with a new color and start my first popcorn. And I'm using that chain 1 double crochet that I made here as a whole space. So I'm just going around the post of the double crochet and making my first popcorn. So that's one way of ending that round. Another way of ending that round, again, I won't go crazy and giving you a ton of different options, but just another way is, if you don't mind, you can chain 3, slip stitch to the first one, fasten off this color, you know, be all done with the round, and then you could join your new color let's say we can join it with a standing double crochet. So I'm going to start it with a standing double crochet and go ahead and finish off my popcorn, my center popcorn, with the chain 3, and you know, that standing double crochet is my first double crochet for my popcorn. So I could start my next round that way. Or any of the other ways that I showed you when we were doing this. But as you can see here, once you learn the popcorn, there's no other fancy stitches that are going on here. And if there is a way that I'm joining or starting that, you know, doesn't feel natural to you, doesn't feel right to you, you can change it. There's lots of options here. You know, where we had the stacked, we could have had a stacked here to start it. This could be a standing, that could be a standing. There's lots of different ways. Obviously, with the standing double crochets and things like that, if you were doing this all in one color, you know, you don't need to do any standings. You're not fastening off and joining a new yarn. But if you are fastening off and joining a new yarn for the round, well then, sky's the limit on how you want to join it. The whole rest of the way around, after we would finish round 5, then you're just doing a square. So it's going to take, you know, this will become the diamond shape in the center, and then you even it up with round 5, and then it's just a square all the way around. So you have a round of double crochets, single crochets, popcorns, double crochets, and so forth. Nothing is unusual here. Nothing is going in any strange spaces. Everything is pretty straightforward. So really the only decisions that you have to make is color changes. Where you want to change your color, how you want to, you know, change it up, because really sky's the limits on this. So I hope you enjoy, whether you're making this version or you're changing it up in another version, or you're making it hopefully all your own, and we can't wait to see it. So with that, let's head back over to Marley, and I will see you all later. Bye. All right, Marley, what do you got for us?
And there you have it, your very own Sweetcorn crochet motif. Perfect for adding a little pop of color to any project. Huge thank you to Robin Chichula for sharing her expertise with us today. If you loved this tutorial, make sure you like it, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you never miss a stitch. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments below, and we'll see you next time with more crochet goodness. Marley Bird, your My Crafty Bestie,